Hey guys, this is Rich from Operation Vets with Nets and my partner in crime over there. Hey, I got it right this time. My partner in crime over there,
With a
Charlie
little
from River
tan.
Chronicles. Huh?
I said, with a little tan, I am so dark, man.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. And we just want to welcome you guys today to today's episode number 7, I believe it is. We've got some great guests on board. We actually took out a 4-man Navy bunch. They all worked together, and I'm going to tell you what a hoot it was. It was hilarious, and we're going to let these guys share their story. It is Tony, Desmond, and Rod. We're waiting for Rod to show up. We'll bring him in when he makes it. But
Mhm.
right now, Tony and Des are in the back studio, so we're going to bring them out. And we're gonna let Charlie take the wheel and guide this. And guys, if you have any questions for us on the hey, what's up, Bruce? If you have hey gas money, hey, if you have any questions you want to ask our guys or anything, feel free, please. All
Please.
right, I'm gonna bring these gentlemen in, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Charlie.
All right, we got everyone on board. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everyone for your time, the honor of having your time today. We have a great show, just like all the other shows have been great, just the same. So today's guest, we got Des, we have Tony, and their captain was Rich. We are missing one more person, but when they come in, obviously, like Rich said, we'll bring them on board. So the first thing, I mean, everybody knows Rich, so right, he's the CEO of Operation Vets with Nets. So before we get started, I just want to thank everyone for their service. First of all, there's a huge bond between veterans that we have each other's backs. It's undescribable, but that bond also leads to people who are not veterans as well. And there's something that fishing does to all of us. It's hard to explain. You got to talk to each person individually to kind of figure out what it's done for them. And that's what we like. We want to start off today. We'll talk. We'll introduce Rich here in a little bit, but first we want to talk to Dez because I heard he's like he'll catch a striper and rip him lips right off that striper or something like that. So I'm excited to hear that story. So Dez and Tony, if you guys don't mind, I'm an Army veteran myself. I know Rich was in the Navy, but if you could just introduce yourself for a little bit for a few minutes and just tell us what service you were in. You just share whatever you want to share. Put it that way. It's up to you. It's a safe place. Whatever you feel comfortable with sharing about you and what um, what you did in the military and stuff like that would be awesome.
All right. I let Des take the road.
I figured you was gonna do
Ah,
that, bro. Well, hello everybody. My name is Desmond. I go by Des. I served in the Navy, did my 20 years. I was a bosun's mate, so my job was primarily on the water, and you can't describe the experiences that I've had because some were good, some were bad, but all in all, I got to meet great people and got to go some great places. So that's just my little story. Oh, and go Bears for anybody that's not a Bears fan. Bear down, baby.
go Bears.
Hey, Des, it's funny as you say you were a Bosa mate. I remember growing up when I was a kid and I'd watch all these like PT 109, McHale's Navy, all the good old World War II Navy flicks. And you see
Mhm.
the guys out there working on the deck, they're swabbing the deck and this, that, and the other thing. And when I went to the recruiter, I said, I want to do that stuff. And it was a Bosa mate. And he looked at me, he said, You sure you want to do that? And and as may know, I end up becoming an operations specialist. But you Bosa mates are some characters, let me tell you. All right, Tony, it's on you, buddy.
What you got, Tony?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Tony. I'm also retired Navy. I was a damage controlman by rate.
What's the damage
They,
control?
I would say civilian equivalent to a firefighter. That's the glory part of it. The not so glorious part was, we're pipe fitters as well, depending on the size of the ship you're attached to. So smaller vessels, DDGs, frigates, CGs, we work together with the hall technicians, and we do plumbers. We do plumbing as well.
I remember when that was one rate.
Yeah. Yep. So it was good times. Like Des said, you got the good and the bad with I'm pretty sure with every branch of service, but overall, I'm glad it's done. Leave it to the next generation to carry that baton. And
Well, we want to
that's
say hello really quick to some of the people that joined in. We got Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us. Ego Ice Tiendas on, Roger Allen. But it is time not to reintroduce Mr. Rich Segarra, the CEO of Operation Vets with Nets. Not only did he create this awesome organization, he's a Navy veteran of how long were you in? 40 something years, Rich?
Something
that?
like that. 20 years too. Little
Yeah, I
over
think
20.
Rich, something like that. So if you can put yourself on our main screen. So for those of y'all who are just tuning in for the first time, so Rich is the CEO and founder of Operation Vets with Nets, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it more in detail here shortly. But we just want Rich to introduce himself really quick for those who might be joining us for the first time.
Thanks, guys. As Charlie said, I'm the CEO and founder of Operation Vets with Nets. What's that mean? All that means is, you know what? I listened to a vision that the good Lord gave me and followed through with it. That's it. There's nothing special about me. I try to continue doing what I'm called to do. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. And also you people in Facebook land. Some people I can see your chats. Some people I can't. But if you're on YouTube, we can see everything. But and that's it. We've been this organization's been around since October of 21. We have grown from the first year or so only having a handful of captains in North Carolina and Virginia to I think we're up to 21 or 22 states now with over 50 captains. And this organization wouldn't be as successful as it is without the guidance of the good Lord and my superb team of captains out there. Those guys really deserve the credit because they're the ones that are making it happen.
And it doesn't matter if you're a veteran captain or just a regular old captain. We thank you all for your service, what you guys are doing and providing for you guys and gals, I should say, for the service you're providing. It's something that's extremely important, and we thank you guys for that. So now we get to talk about, so actually before we get hearing about these guys' journey, I just want to talk about Operation Vets with Nets. So, there's a lot of questions out there, and we're trying to grow bigger than we are now. We've had some huge growth lately, but, how can I help? What can I contribute to it? Of course, you can sign up, try to become a captain with us as well, but there's also other ways that you can contribute. If you go to Operation Vets with Nets you see the .org there at the bottom scrolling, you can contribute by doing donations, by buying hats. If you haven't seen the Operation Vets with Nets hats, you are missing out. They are freaking sweet. Rich, you got one? Looking for one? I see you looking for one.
Yeah,
I got mine. It's way over there, but I got my dog there. I don't want to trip over.
Yeah, mine's in the truck, but I just got in a new batch of 50. And they're available on the website.
Now, the hat is like a trucker hat. It's got the mesh in the back, but in the back, it has the good old U.S. flag on the back. It is freaking awesome. So there's other ways that you can contribute. And, are we just boat stuff? No, we could do missions that's from the bank and stuff like that. So just reach out to us and just let us know. Shoot a message to Operation Vets with Nets, and we can definitely answer your questions. And again, we thank you all for your time and for contributing and helping us grow this great organization. And here's the thing, I like to start off not by the journey of these veterans that were out there, but obviously veterans have like this huge bond. It's hard to explain unless you've been there. Like me, I've never had an actual physical brother. I have two sisters. So I guess it's kind of like the closest thing that I've ever felt. Because when I was in the military, it didn't matter where you were from, how old you were, how rich you were, what your background or economic class was, right? So the dynamic of being, we call it brothers in arms, right? Brothers in the military, or in the Navy, you call it like my sister from another mister, right?
Ah, you funny.
Ah, did he go? Did he go, Dez? I see it, Dez. I see it, Dez.
You funny.
All right, trying to be funny. All right. Um, so you build a lot of relationships, camaraderie, and stuff like that. And I worked with a lot. I worked at the EOD school, so it was a lot of Navy people, Marines there, FBI, DA, all this stuff. And I built relationships throughout that training or through that time that we just spent through each other. So Dez and Tony, did Tony drop off? I think Tony dropped off.
No, Rod said he can't get in. So he's just checking on him. So
Okay, gotcha. So I like to start out. Well, there's Tony. We just like to start off of like what being in the military did for you as a whole, and then we'll get into your fishing journey and how fishing kind of integrated with your time in the military.
Okay. Well, my time was just a great experience. You know, when you're a young kid, you don't really know what to do. You don't really want to go to school, so it's like you try to figure it out, right? And so when I originally went to the recruiter's office, I told him I wanted to play football, and he was like, "Oh, you want to play football?" I was like, "Yeah," I was all hype about it, and he ended up saying got me to sign for saying that I could play football. I didn't know you had to go to the Naval Academy, so I got kind of hoodwinked. But even still, once I got into boot camp, it was really a culture shock for me. I'd never been around that many different type of people, so it was like, wow. And then once I got to my division, and we started learning how to, change the way you talk, change the way you walk, change the way you eat, all the rest of this. But I met some really cool people. And throughout my career, I met some really cool people. So it was a great experience. I'm glad that I didn't get out on the many times that I said I wanted to get out.
Yeah.
So it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience for me.
So Tony, thank you, Des. We appreciate that. So Tony, the question was kind of like, how veterans have a huge bond, and sometimes it is difficult to put into words, right? To regular civilians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and people serve for a year, 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever the length of time is. But before we get into the fishing part, is like, what did the military do for you as a human being, like to learn about life?
Saved my life, actually.
Bam! Right here, my brother. That's me right there. Look.
Yeah, military saved my life. If it wasn't for true story, actually, I did 4 years, got out because I hated it. But then when I got back, I got out and went home. I got a reality check really quick, and I was able to then appreciate the 3 square meals and a place to sleep. So I still fought the system for a little bit for about 4.5 years as a reservist with the Cargo Handling Battalion, NCHB 7, which is now decommed. But we got activated in support of the war in 2005. And while I was there, I took that opportunity to go back in because I realized, what the military had to offer. I was a little bit more older and mature, at that point as well. So I could appreciate, the things that I didn't realize that I had the first time around. So it was a little struggle to get back in, but once I was in, I knew I was going to, finish it off. But
It's
yeah,
go ahead,
I can't even fathom where I would have been without the Navy.
Mhm.
You know.
And that's the thing. It's a huge sacrifice, and sometimes the selfishness kind of gets to us. And like I was in the military. For those of us that were, I lost my marriage when I was in the military because I failed to realize the sacrifices that when you're in the military, your family's in the military. Like if you're married and have children and stuff like that, and it's tough. It's tough for people to. And like Des was saying, all these times I wanted to get out. That was me. I did 10 years in the army, and I spent 7 of those in Germany. And I went to the Kosovo War, and I was like, it's like what's happening. And just like you, Tony, it's difficult when you get out and trying to transition, and you're fighting that. I didn't really necessarily know what I was fighting, but I knew I was fighting something. I just couldn't figure it out.
Right.
And then fishing the water is something that is just there's something. Speaking of the water, let's ask Rich really quick. So, Rich, what is it about the water when you take these awesome veterans out there? Um, what is it like? I know earlier we were talking like behind the scenes, and you said, "Oh yeah, we were kind of having some difficulty, and we really weren't on the fish." But then one of these veterans said, "Hey, man, we're having a great time. We're having a blast." We weren't necessarily catching fish at the time. So, what do you think it is about those experiences that makes veterans kind of see things differently?
Well, I think, at least for me, because as a captain, we're trying to provide a relaxing atmosphere where you can emotionally and physically, start a healing process that you might be going through, providing that real therapy. As a captain, though, um, it's just as therapeutic for us as well. And even though that day, and we'll get into it, I mean, I'll even started out fine. And once we were setting up for our first drift, I'm getting everything out. We got the lines out, and I had to slow the boat down because of all the wind. And I throw my windsock out. It catches my $550 camera into the drink.
Ooh.
It goes, and that
Gone.
that gone. And so that set me really. That initially set my tone to. I knew it was going to be a bad day for me, but these guys, they're like, you know what? Just it's all going to come back tenfold for you, man. Just and we started talking, and that's where the therapeutic stuff started happening for me, because once we were getting on there, it's pouring down rain. Thank God I had the enclosure, or we wouldn't have went. And we got it closed down, and we just started. The camaraderie started. It was five of us on there and talking like we've known each other forever. Even though these guys knew each other, I was a new kid on the block. But we're all Navy, and we started talking about that. We started talking about various different things in the Navy. Some things we won't discuss on here, except you want to hear eventually the story about the little people. But
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I gotta have to tell him about that later.
yeah, no. But see, I knew Des would get a trip out of that, and that's what it was. The
That's what it's about.
banter and the chop busting and the camaraderie. That's what makes getting on the water, especially when you're running one of these trips. That's what really makes it.
That is absolutely true, Rich.
That's
That's
what makes it for me. And like I said, these guys were a freaking hoot. I'm telling you, when we start talking about it, we were in stitches all day long, and then we get the country music going, and then this. I was waiting everybody to get up and start scooting the boot, and then I go old school, and I start throwing some old school disco on, and I see Tony's getting into that. Tony's like, "All right, yeah, that's me." And so we were listening to some old Francis Jolie and all that old stuff, and that's what I grew up on, And it was just funny, back and forth, back and forth. And before you know it, I mean, then the wind. I think because they did have a time limit because they came out, they drove 3 hours to get out there.
Oh, wow.
And so then the wind was picking up, it was getting worse, so we end up calling it a day, and we've already got them on the schedule. We haven't set the date yet, but we're going out again this time, guys. I don't know if you know, but we won't have those motor issues anymore because the new motor goes on the boat next week.
Yeah, that's what's up.
What's up, Catfishing
I
Ed
mean,
J?
what's that?
No, I was just saying hi to Catfishing Ed J real fast.
Oh yeah. So we'll probably set that time up sometime in April, I'm guessing. I got to go in through the break-in period and stuff, but we're gonna have a good time. And so that's really. I hope that answered your question, Charlie.
No, most definitely. And you know what's funny, Rich, that you said that about going out there, and then the team, not the team building, but the camaraderie starts, and just talking about stuff and kind of like eating each other up. So I took a Marine guy out, right, about a week and a half ago, right? And he was like, so in the Army uniforms that we have, it says U.S. Army, like right on this side. So we were talking about he's like, why didn't you join the Marines? And I was trying to be funny. I was like, yeah, because my IQ was too high and stuff like that. So we're going back and forth, kind of like putting each other down. And he goes, but why did you join the Army? He goes, you know what the U.S. Army stands for? It says that you signed up, but now you can't get out because the Uncle Sam ain't released me yet. Right? U.S. Army. And he goes, you know why? And if you read it backwards, it says, yeah, my retarded ass signed up. So we were just tearing each other up all, and it was awesome. Like we would forget about the rods, and next thing you know, there's something like on your rod. And before you know it, like time's like, oh my God. And that's what makes the thing so special. And that's what's so special about Operation Vets with Nets, because it's the journey to real therapy, guys. So we want to hear more about your guys' trip, like what happened. Rich kind of filled us in a little bit about the camera. It's like, you know what, Rich, right here on camera, I don't use DJI Pros and all that stuff. I use Osmo Actions, right? From me to you, you're gonna have an Osmo Action coming to you soon. From me to you for Operation Vets with Nets. All right.
You ain't got.
I said it right here on camera, so y'all can hold me to it. So that's the cameras that I use, Osmo Actions. So I'll be shipping you one shortly from River Chronicles to you guys, because it's very important that we document these journeys and tell everyone stories that you can share with your family and friends and veterans and coworkers. So from me to you, my brother, you're gonna have one coming to you.
Oh man!
But Tony and Des, now the Osmo, it's way cheaper. I ain't gonna lie to you. The Osmo Actions that I use are way cheaper, and they take great quality. If you've seen my videos,
I see all your videos. That's why, guys, if you want to see this killer stuff that Charlie goes to or Charlie does, make sure you hold on here. There we go. Also subscribe to River Chronicles.
I appreciate that.
The videos this guy does is and all he's doing is he's just documenting the journey.
That's all it is. It's not about brands. It's not about big fish, small fish. It's just about, it's like mini movies. Look at it. Just look at it that way. It's a little mini short movie. I try to keep it under 12 minutes. And we've been doing pretty good. I've grown quite a bit in the last few weeks. But it's not about me, guys. It's about sharing your guys' journeys. So that's something that I really want to contribute to, just helping others contribute to sharing those experiences and journeys, because that's why I started my channel, because I met a gentleman at Lake Ray Roberts at a spillway, and he had a walker and he couldn't get down there. He said, I can't fish no more, so I like watching videos on YouTube. I'm like, what? And that's what did it for me. But guys, Tony or Des, whoever wants to start first, if y'all want to tell us more about your trip, what happened that day with the rain, with the striper who lost his lips and needed some some new lips. Hey, if you want to volunteer the little people stuff too. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
That's a boat story there.
So just like I said, it's a safe place. You volunteer what you want to volunteer, and it's all great. So whoever wants to start first, Rich, click on you, and just tell us about your trip, how it went, how awesome it was, you guys did, which I caught.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Tony.
I'll take this one. So we fortunately, all three of us that went on the trip worked together. I've known Rod, who's not on for since about 2012, and then I
Oh,
met
wow.
Dez and Carl at work, and they're never met them before. I've been there at the job for maybe about a little over 6 months now. Uh, Met Dez on my first day, and we just all clicked. True story. I actually was going to be a Marine. And I went to the Marine recruiter, and
Your IQ was too high.
the recruiter looked me up and down, and he said, "Nope." And I was like, "What?" So
You didn't eat enough crayons.
I guess.
Oh,
So then I went to the Army recruiter, and I was going to join the Army. And then on the way out, the Navy recruiter caught me, and he says, "Are you going to join the Army?" And I was like, "Yep." And he was like, "Let me talk to you for a minute." So he brought me in the office and showed me his cruise books and all the different ports and stuff and places that he had been, and all the clubs and everything. And I was like looking at all that. And he goes, "Why would you want to join the Army, learn how to dig a hole, and live
true,
in it for 6 months when you could do this for 6 months?"
true, true.
I was like, "Yeah, I
Go Navy,
was
beat
sold.
Army.
I was
That's
sold at
true.
that point." But the trip itself, yeah, of course, it was raining all the way there, so you know, it didn't look so hot, but we were excited, to be able to go fishing. Dez loves fishing. The rest of us guys are pretty much outdoors. Carl and Rod do some hunting, and I just like hanging out with the guys and getting away. So being in the woods or being on the water, it's just peace with God and with nature and
Yes,
some.
sir. I
Uh,
could picture Dez like this with his rod and like, I'm taking your
I
soul, fish. We'll get
got
into that in
video,
a little
so
bit.
if I could
But
show
you're
that
right,
video,
Tony.
boy.
You're right though. Being out there like your soul with God. It's I got this little thing on my Facebook, and it talks about religion, about something about religion. It's a guy being in church, thinking about fishing, but my relationship with God is when I'm fishing, just thinking about God.
Yeah,
Like it's everyone has their own uniqueness, and it's okay.
yeah, yeah. I we loved it, and and you could quickly tell that Dez is the life of the party, so it was great to have him out
Oh,
there.
party dance,
But
party dance. Look at him, boy. He blushing.
No, it's because they always say that, so it's so funny.
well, you can definitely tell that uh, even with the wind and the weather, that we were going to have a good time just with the people that we were with. And Rich clicked, and like you said, it was just like being on the ship, being in the Navy or in a foxhole if you're in the Army or whatever it may be. But that camaraderie that you get in the military it's irreplaceable.
Yeah,
I don't care how old you are, or
you're right. Like you said, Rich clicked. I met Rich. We clicked. I've told him some stuff. He's believed me. He's had my back. And that's what veterans do. As
yeah,
long as you're being truthful and honest, they have your back regardless. And
price.
that's why, and I'm working on some few things myself over here for Operation Resilience, and I'm like hoping because it would be huge as well. But that's the thing about veterans, and here's the thing: is like we don't want it's America's finest heroes, so it's not just about Rodney. We got Rodney. What's up, Rodney?
What up, player?
What's up, fool? There's the country boy. Yeah.
What's up, Rodney? My name is Charlie.
How you doing, man?
Nice to meet you, my brother.
Where you from? Because you sound country as hell.
I am from Dallas, Texas, my brother, born and raised.
You what part of Texas?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that good old Dallas. I was born there 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Double that.
I was
Everyone's
born, I
laughing.
was
Nah,
born
I'll be
in Texas.
51 in a few months.
I was born in Texas 25 years ago also.
Nah, what part of Texas?
Corpus Christi, a little south of Corpus Christi.
Man, I got so many friends. I got to take a trip down there to do some red fishing, which I've never done.
Oh yeah, that's good
But
stuff.
I just
went to
get
the
fooled so
bathroom
many
in
ways.
Texas 25 years ago.
Oh, dang. Did you hear that guy? Oh, my God. That's rich for you right there. That was funny. But thank you, Rodney, for joining us. Thank you for, you know what they said in the military, right? 10 minutes, you're on time. You're on time, you're late.
Well, that's
No, don't worry about
I'm
it.
retired now, so that doesn't apply to me.
There you go. Good answer. Good answer. I like it. So, Rodney, obviously, we're kind of halfway through, but if you don't mind, I got to take a potty break, but if you don't mind introducing yourself, I know all you guys were in the Navy. If you mind introducing yourself and share whatever you feel comfortable with sharing. It's a safe place here, like we support each other. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, if you want to divulge that information, and tell us a little bit about your military experience and what it's done for you in your life.
All right, well,
And then we'll get back to Tony and make a round robin again.
There you go.
Well, like all of y'all know me, I'm Rodney, retired in the Navy, 24 years, little town, Texas. Been in Virginia for 20, let's just say 20 years. I like doing everything outdoors. Shoot, anything outdoors, I'm there. Even in the rain.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, I like doing all that stuff. So I really enjoyed doing the Nets for Vets?
Operation Vets with Nets.
Vets with Nets. Oh, see, I'm dyslexic, man. I turn everything around.
And we gotta make sure we put that operation in the front.
Operation.
There we go.
With Nets, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. Even though I didn't catch a fish, man, but it was a good time.
We did. We had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
So what I'll do is, and thanks, Rod, I'll bring it back to Tony, let him finish sharing what he was sharing about, and then we'll jump to Des, and then we'll jump back to you.
Yeah, we got out there, and the weather wasn't so hot like we had said. Then Rich lost his camera, and we got maybe about, I think it was about 6 or 7 snags. So I'll tell you honestly, we didn't have to worry about anything, which was a blessing. Rich had it all squared away. The rods and the reels were already rigged and ready to get some fish. He definitely was a great captain, knew where to go to get them. Taught us a little bit about the gear and everything that we were using. So I was learning a lot. I'm not really a fisherman, so I was learning a lot in that area. What it looks like on the sonar or whatever they call that.
Fish finder,
Fish
bro.
finder. But we brought some snacks. I was being called homeless because I bought a little stove.
Hey, I've been there, my brother.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, that's what was funny, because Des started it off right off the bat, because Tony pulls out this bag and he's got his bag of tricks, man. Like
Look
he
at
was a
that.
homeless
He is
guy.
cracking up.
He pulls out, next thing you know, because I've got a big old thing of coffee with me. Next thing you know, Tony brings out this little canteen, this little fire thing, and all this other stuff. Next thing you know, he's making himself a cup of coffee, which was cool, But literally, he pulls out his bag like he was a homeless person living on. He had everything he needed.
Yeah.
And then they had the snacks, and he was eating this and that, and just it was hilarious. I'm like, dude, what you doing? I'm making me some coffee. And he's got his little Bunsen burner kind of thing. He's his little pot and I was like, man, I need to get me one of them. So when I run out of coffee, on the water, at least I got some.
Yeah, man. We could have cooked the whole meal with his little thing like that.
Right.
I just went on a camping trip. I I would say about a month prior, so my bag was already packed. I had a little stove. Made it was convenient.
I was
Bro,
waiting
you
for
was like huddled in the corner, bro.
yeah.
Like, you was really huddled in the corner, like, and
Like
when
somebody was gonna come steal your coffee.
right.
He had the poncho on and everything.
That's
was
what I
ready.
talking about. Prepared. I like that though.
Oh,
You
he
never
would.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
you
he
never
was
know.
pulling out like he was
You
pulling
know
out
what?
beef jerky.
I was
You
like,
believe in
hey,
luck, Tony?
we could cook up a steak. Oh no, I got everything right in here. No.
Mm.
Hey, Tony, do you believe in luck?
I do.
Luck is when preparation meets opportunity, my brother.
Mm.
Well,
Remember that.
he was ready
You
for that.
never know.
He
Shoot.
was.
Yeah, one thing that I learned is, people don't plan to fail; they fail to plan.
That's
So
right.
I always got a little backup plan.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
that's good because he saved
Always. You always take an extra camera, right, Rich?
it.
Well, I had him.
Oh,
I had all my GoPros, but I was so irritated.
We had
Yeah,
his
I
back
bet.
with the cameras on our phones.
Yep, and we
Oh,
did.
man.
Everybody, we got. Yep, everybody had their phones and we're catching it. Especially when and once we bring Des on, and he tells you about his striper episode.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what. We'll talk about it in a minute. I was rolling. It was funny, but it was
I
a
bet. I can
sweet
just
striper.
imagine. Striper. You done took the stripes off that fish, didn't you, Des?
No, not really. Not really. But it was really fun though, like
Yeah,
just
can
the
you tell
whole
us about it?
experience. Say again?
Can you tell us about it or what happened with the striper?
So as we were going and it was like felt like we were going in circles for like 30 minutes. But the wind was taking us. So we just laughing and joking and talking. And I fish like Tony said, so I'm always watching the rod. And I was just like, it looked like something's on there. So then Rich had jumped up and kind of like reeled a little bit. He was like, yep. He was like, who won it? So I don't know, eager. So I hop up.
Here, you almost pushed me off the boat.
I almost went overboard.
So I get it. And the first thing I'm thinking is, I don't want to lose this fish. And I'm thinking it's a catfish. And so I'm just reeling. I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, this is kind of light to be a catfish. But all right. So kept going. And as it started to go, when we got into the boat, we ended up going to the right. I was like, oh, that's not a catfish. And I looked and I saw it. I was like, that's a striper. And then I really got excited. So that's when I started to reel, like trying to get it in, because I was like, if I lose this, I'm gonna be mad. And just the support of my brothers, though, it was just an experience that I will take with me for a lifetime. When I got home, I talked about it for at least another 2.5, 3 hours.
And 20 years later, you're gonna be talking about it still.
Oh yeah, I even told my dad, and he was like, "Man, did you catch a fish?" And I told him, and I sent him some pictures, and he was like, "Man, that's a big A fish." I was like, "Yeah," and I showed him Tony's fish, and he was like, "Did you eat it?" I was like, "Nah, we put him back." He was like, "Man, you was gonna be eating for like 2 months with that one." I'm like, but I couldn't just from the day itself when we pulled up out there and we saw how beautiful the water was. And then we also saw how beautiful like the woods were. And we were just sitting there like, yo, this is dope. And we got on the boat and then we started talking about boats and all the rest of this. And then it just went like it flowed. And like I said, when you got guys like Tony, you got guys like Carl and Rod, and our camaraderie at work is strong, it just made it that much better. Yeah. And I could not take that day. And then Rich, you saying I'm funny, you funny too, because you had me dying. And we missing Carl, but it was just everything that happened that day was truly a great experience. And if you guys get to be able to get to go, trust me, it's gonna be a great time. Whether you catch some fish or not, you just get to meet new people. But fortunately for me, I had a great group of guys. So
Des, what you just described is really not necessarily the fishing part. It's the journey to that real therapy. Brother. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
it was
We
so
need that.
surreal.
Exactly.
It
We
was
need
so
that, and
surreal.
sometimes, like, we need that. Like, as a veteran, I know that I need it. I needed to survive to save my life. Like Tony, if y'all saw one podcast I was on a long time ago, it saved my life. That was it. I was done. I was ready to go. It did. That's why I'm so dark. I was talking to Rich. Look how dark I am, because I am always on the water. I am always on the water. I've had 6 trips in 14 days.
Dang, that's crazy.
And sometimes I can put it into context, into words to explain.
Right.
But if I'm with a veteran, I don't have to do that. If it's not a veteran, sometimes I have to explain certain things and da da da. But there is something that I don't know. I don't figure. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. But every veteran that I meet out there, I work with tons of veterans. There's something about fishing, and they all have a different explanation. And not just veterans. There's regular people out there, doctors and police officers and firemen. It's regular old Joes. And that's what's amazing about that, because when you talk to all of them, there's one thing that stands out. It's, man, we struggled to get the bait. We couldn't do it. We would spend 2 hours. Oh, the trolling motor went down. Oh my God. I lost the camera in the water. Oh, my phone went in the water. And what is that? That's the journey. That is the story that everyone has that should be shared. And thank you guys for sharing that today, especially Rodney being all late and stuff.
Hey, I tell you what, if it wasn't raining and cold that day, Tony would have jumped in for that camera.
Probably.
So what up?
And it's funny is because I said the same thing. I said if the water wasn't 55 degrees, I would have jumped in and I would have caught it.
Yep.
And I would have had the trolling motor thing on my neck. I would have just turned the boat around and come get me.
Yeah. And that's the thing when it comes to stuff like that. Like, we were white bass fish right now. White bass fishing, which is sand bass fishing. I grew up calling it sand bass here in Texas. I went out with a buddy of mine, and we're casting it. We had minnows. We were trying to catch shad. And next thing we know, he's on the back. I'm in the front of his boat, and we hear bang and bloop. So we're like, oh dang, his trolling motor remote control just fell in, right? So we spent 30 minutes with little small, I think they were like 3 feet cast nets, right? Because we had the spot lock stayed on, thank God. So we stayed on there, trying to catch the. And then I'm like, man, bro, I think we just need to order another one, right? Like, it's gone, and it's a motor guide trolling motor. So he actually jumped on. I got all this footage, but I didn't put it in the video. But he's like, he gets on Amazon, orders his new remote control, and as soon as he hits send, man, I can't believe it. It's $100 and something. Man, so he raises his jacket up and he's kind of like, God. And then what do I see underneath his jacket dangling? And I'm like, Ernie, no way. So raise your jacket up. And he raised it up, and there was this freaking trolling motor remote control.
What fell in the water?
We have no idea. His knife. We think it was his knife as he was throwing his net. The net, it caught his knife. And then, you better cancel that order. So he's on there. I'm going to remember that forever. He is. We talked about it the other day, because it's the story. It's the journey. It's when you share stuff with people like that. Yeah, it might not necessarily be your immediate family, your daughters and your kids and your brothers-in-law. Like, I have 2 son-in-laws that fish like crazy, but it's everything's unique, guys. Everything's so special. To me, everything's so special. Every day, whether it's raining, not raining, you lose a camera, you're gonna remember that forever. I remember this time.
No, that's something I want to forget.
That's something I want to forget.
But I have a funny feeling I'm going to be fishing with these guys more than just the next trip, and believe me, it'll be brought up. Exactly,
but, and that's the point. That's the thing about the journey to real therapy.
Yeah, Des will be like, "Hey, you got that camera secured?" And if it's warm weather, somebody's going in, jumping in there and getting it if it falls again. But no, I got these little these things that come with the GoPros and all that other stuff. It's a flotation thing. I connect it, so if I knock it off again, it'll just float in the water. That'll be okay.
Nice. But could you imagine, guys, Tony, Des, and Rodney, like we go out fishing, or you guys are out fishing, and then you lose a whisker seeker weighted float with your terminal tackle, and you bust it off, and you could be like, "Ha, at least I didn't lose a camera."
No kidding.
Yeah.
Harley, I'm
That's the
gonna come get
story.
you too. I'm gonna come get you too, dude.
Yeah.
That's the journey. That's the
Yeah.
journey, Rich. That's the story.
It was.
I
That's
remember
amazing.
one
And
key
you know
word.
you got a
If it
camera
wasn't
coming your way,
for-
my brother.
If it
One
wasn't
key
for
word,
the
Rich.
camaraderie,
One
if it
key
wasn't
word.
for all that camaraderie and the joking and hearing Dez's stories and all this other good stuff, it would have been a miserable day for me. But thanks to these guys, Dez, you know I'm only busting your chops.
I know, but it's funny
Same
because
here.
I was the only one talking for real.
Tony was cooking and making coffee. Rodney was controlling the country music for a while. I forgot what Carl was doing, but I mean, and it literally, these guys made that trip for me because once that camera was gone, I really need some serious therapy because I was ready to friggin' bust a cap in my own hind parts because it was just stupidity on my part, but these guys just made it. Now, Rod.
Yeah.
So Rod, go ahead and share a little bit of what you thought of the day and how all that went. And
Well, I could tell you that I had just came back from California, and maybe got 2 hours of sleep.
yeah, we were waiting for you. You were running late too that day. That's right. We were an hour and a half late.
Hey, he's retired. He gets the pass.
That was Dez. That wasn't me.
Why you got to throw my business out there though, bro?
That was Dez. That was no.
Okay, it was Dez.
It was me. It was me.
But
it was me.
but
So
I had a good
I'll
time,
take
man.
that.
Every time I would doze off, the rods would go off. So I just started dozing off more often.
There you go.
But it was good though. Like Des and Tony said, man, the camaraderie that we have, man, especially going from work to the boat, nothing changed. Like, man, we do the same thing at work. So,
Yeah.
But it was relaxing. I enjoyed it. I really did. I was hoping to catch a big old hog, but
That'll come.
That's all right because we're coming back again. I'm catching the biggest hog.
You want to catch a big hog? Just come to Texas and get married.
Oh,
You funny as hell.
Oh,
You
my
funny as
bad. Did I just say that?
those are wild.
You get a
boys.
wife, you got to hug her in sections, Rodney.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Hug her in sections like that. I'm just kidding. I'm overweight myself.
Wow.
I'm
Hey,
51 and I'm really overweight, but
I've seen them, man. They're called thick hogs.
Wow, y'all funny.
But no, like I said, man, I enjoyed it. Rich, I appreciate it, man. It was good to me. It was good, even though I was in and out. It was good though.
Yeah, you were bobbing for apples for sure.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. At one time, I thought you were gonna break your neck.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because that was the waves out there.
he was praying.
Oh.
He was praying.
Now let me ask you guys, how did all this come about? So
Tony,
Tony.
Tony, tell us about it.
So it was actually recommended. I'm part of Wounded Warrior as well. And we had a meeting, and there was a young lady that was in the meeting. I don't recall her name, but it was her first time.
It was CJ.
It was CJ. And it was her first time, and she was just telling us about the amazing trip that she had, how much fun it was. And right then, I already knew that these guys that I work with would love it. Carl and Des being out of the military here recently within the last year or two, and I retired maybe about 3 years ago, I knew the importance of getting back together with other veterans. Because when you first transition, you're lost, in my opinion.
Yes.
And you don't have that brother or sister to depend on, or to lead you or guide you in the right direction. So I knew it was important. I knew it was something that we all would love doing. And I'm glad that we all had the opportunity to go, so we're definitely going to do it again and get some more of that real therapy. It's priceless.
Priceless. I like that. I'm gonna steal that from you. That it's priceless. You can't put a price on it. You can't. I have trouble describing it sometimes, but it really is priceless.
Yeah.
Except for that action camera 360.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rich.
Yeah, man, Rich ought to be glad it was raining because we would have jumped there butt naked.
And that's not too bad.
Oh Lord! And see there. So you gotta look at.
Navy. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You got a bosun mate.
And we have some worms up in there.
Yeah. You had a bosun.
That's not bad.
Fishy.
You had an engineer. You had an Airedale. You had a turd chaser. That turd chaser. That the DC guys, and then you had a scope dope, an OS. So
look at that.
So if it and he said it, if the weather was a little bit nicer, I guarantee we all would have jumped in. They wouldn't care.
And Rich, I feel your pain. Like I don't know if y'all have seen one of my videos where I was gar fishing. Some hogs ran up on me.
Oh,
and I'm not a big firearms guy, just because I've seen what they can do. But the hogs. So I'm pushing my boat out. I was in my small Pelican bass raider, and I had a Canon EOS R50 on a tripod inside the boat. And I'm trying to launch the boat off the sand, and I'm looking at the hogs to the left. And as I look, I see the camera go like this, right in the water, 1 foot of water. $1,500 camera gone.
Yeah,
but I had insurance.
Canon sitting around here somewhere.
But now I got it replaced. I had insurance, but I don't take that camera on the boat. I'll use it around and stuff. But and I'll take it on with me on the boat because I don't leave it in my car. But it was a crappy day, you could say, because I'm like, and then the hogs ended up veering to the left and they avoided me. But I'm just like, but I know that feeling, Rich. That's why you got one coming for River Chronicles, my brother.
I appreciate that, brother. But you know what? I bring up the camera and I laugh about it because I've got to laugh about it because I was sick to my stomach. But like I said, these guys literally, I mean, every couple hours we joke about, I joke about the camera or something like that. But these guys really took that all off my, it de-stressed me by the camaraderie and by the life of the party Des there and by Tony sitting there trying to friggin' cook a whole hog in his little cup and doing all this other stuff. And Rodney bobbing for apples, almost breaking his neck. All of it literally was pure therapy. And it truly was.
And you see how little it was about actually catching something, except for ripping lips. You see that?
Yeah. Hey, the lips were still intact. We'll just leave it at that.
The lips were still intact.
Kim Kardashian lips. That's why they come on.
Listen, it could have been Kim Kardashian or anybody, but I'm gonna tell you right now, when they got on the boat, it had lips.
Yeah.
So that's just all that matter.
Yeah, they got some tough lips.
Yep.
And the point of the stories is that it's about that journey, guys. That journey, that time you guys spent together. I mean, that was the first. I'm envious. I ain't gonna lie. I am so envious. I wish I would have been there with you guys. Like, you guys seem like I had a blast, despite everyone dozing off and homeless people cooking in the corner and people abusing fish, and people losing cameras. It was great.
It was awesome.
It sounds like you missed the trip, huh?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I think he's a little jealous. So
yeah, man, he come back out. We coming out there again. Whenever we come out, you can come out with us.
Or you let me know, I'll go. I ain't lying.
Yeah, it's on Rich. He'll pay for the flight and everything.
For real, I'm going.
Damn.
Golly, guys, we got about 6 minutes left, so we're gonna start a little bit early, just kind of closing things out because it's quite a few of us. But Tony, we've been picking on you all day, so we'll start with someone else. So we'll start with the guy that's been late for most of his life to appointments, Mr. Rodney. So just tell us a little bit about what Operation Vets with Nets has done for you, and just about just whatever you want to volunteer about Operation Bliss. I don't want to like direct you a certain way or not. I mean, obviously, God, this is one of the best shows I've been on. You guys just had a blast. And yes, I am jealous and envious of that because that's what it's about, guys. And despite, stuff, Murphy's Law is going to come into play, right? If it's going to go wrong, it's going to happen. But you guys have such a great attitude about everything that happened. That uplifts. I'm uplifted by you guys. And everyone who's watching, I'm hoping that they feel the same. So just tell us a little bit about your trip, Operation Ritz, what your thoughts are on Operation Ritz with Nets.
Like I said before, man, Operation Vets with Nets, man, it's a good program, especially for people that let's just say suffer with PTSD and stuff like that, man. That takes the fishing and stuff takes your mind off of all that stuff, man. So
yep, sure does.
It's a really good program. And me being from Texas, man, I used to do that a lot with my dad. And then when my dad passed, I really stopped doing it. But it was good. It was good. And I enjoyed it. So, and I would do it again, and I would recommend it to anybody that's a vet that is looking for something to get their mind off of stuff. Man, go out there and just enjoy the water and the camaraderie that you'll get, even if you don't know another vet. But believe me, y'all will get there. Just talk. That's all we really need.
And the nice thing is, we've built that here locally because we all live locally. Matter of fact, I think Tony probably lives maybe 10 minutes from. You're in Chesapeake, right, Tony? Yep.
Yeah.
So, but the blessing is, folks all over the country, could have the same experience because we've got chapters all over. Multiple chapters in Virginia, North Carolina, Texas. Matter of fact, Oklahoma, and I just got another request for a new captain in Oklahoma. So we're all over, and that's the blessing is, folks, by reaching out, going to the website, and what is that website? Oh man, what is that again? Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Rodney, what is
it? Wait a minute, there it is. So other folks, can experience this. I know. We've got one guy named Bill Journey, and he's been waiting a while because we had nobody in his area, and we brought on a new captain, Dave Hull, which is like 30 minutes from Bill, and I had an opportunity to meet Bill in CatCon in February, but Bruce, they're gonna be able to enjoy this and have the same, camaraderie, Yeah. So, but Des, what closing remarks do you got, buddy?
Oh man, you can't explain it. It was just one of those things that it was great for a great brother of mine to introduce me to that experience, and then just the whole thing about it, learning the history of it, talking about it, and really seeing what real therapy was. And I had an awesome time. I can't wait to go again. I don't even care if we catch no fish or not. Just being out there with them guys and Rich, man, so if you decide you want to come over, just know it might get a little wild, but we'll be all right. We'll have a good time.
I know that's true.
Wow. We'll bring some cup of noodles for Tony.
Funny as hell.
Pick up a noodles and some crackers and some Tabasco. Tony, what you got, brother?
Yeah, the same. Operation Vets with Nets couldn't have had a better time, a better experience. Definitely looking forward to doing it again. Highly recommended to anybody out there that just wants to get away. Getting on that water, just the whole experience is, again, it's priceless. So recommend it. Get out there and get it, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna get on some fish when you're out there. These guys, definitely boat captains, know what they're doing.
Oh, and Rodney, you missed it. The next time we go out, we won't have no more motor issues. Next week, the new motor goes on the boat.
Oh yeah, it's good. Next time I'm bringing all my fishing rods so I can fish
Right?
shallow, deep, everything.
Right?
So,
You gotta stay awake though.
well, that's because I
You gotta stay
basically came
awake
off
though.
the plane and went on the boat. That's why. But next time it's okay. We're catching fish next time. I
That's
ain't
right.
worried about it.
That's right.
Here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
Yeah.
Here, fishy,
Yeah, fishy,
fishy,
fishy.
fishy.
Rich, what you got, Rich?
Man, I'll tell you what, guys. Let me see here. Kevin said it's more than just one-time trip. That's right.
That's for sure.
I have a funny feeling. Matter of fact, one of our boat captains here locally, Walter, great guy, fishes the James. He really has no schedule because he's retired, and so he saw Tony and these guys put in for another trip, and he reached right out to him, and he said, I was like, oh, we're gonna go out with Rich. And I didn't know they put in something. So I asked Walter, hey, why'd you reach out? He said, oh, no, they put in for another trip. I'm like, oh, okay. He said, but I think you've been designated as their captain. I said, okay. So that's when I reached out to Tony and I said, all right, we're going to do this again. And we will, and I'm super excited about it, and it's funny. As you can hear the excitement in my voice. My wife is downstairs on the other side of the house and she hears me. So she knows that, this stuff excites me. But
so I'll tell you what, you're excited, right? About what you guys did. I'm actually freaking jealous about y'all's freaking trip. So check this out. So you guys are gonna go out again, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
So check this out. My word is my bond. If I tell you something, it's the absolute truth. You see what's on my hat?
Yep.
Actually, I got a better one right here. When you guys go out,
man, that's sharp.
When Rich takes you guys out again, let me see if I can get it. It's a blue cat.
A big cat.
When
Yeah.
Rich takes you out again, all you guys, whoever catches the heaviest fish, I'm gonna send you this.
Nice.
Hey, Charlie, send
I'll
me
send
one
it to
too,
Rich.
would you, so I can put it on my hat?
Yeah, I'll send one to Rich too. On top of the camera.
Does a stick fish count?
No,
Yeah,
fish.
Hey, well,
I
no,
catch
that's not
those all the time.
fair, right? Because listen, you might as well just send us all one just so we can have the memorabilia for it.
Then why
Just like
the
you're
hell
trying to
you
get this dang on t-shirts too.
Oh,
Des,
hey,
you're a freaking spoiler. You're spoiling everything for us. How do you know I wasn't going to do that to begin with? So now I'm going to make it a challenge because now you don't know.
Okay,
Rich,
okay.
Tony, Rodney. Well, Rodney might be asleep, but
No,
I'm
not. I won't be going to any San Diego anytime soon. So no.
I'll be going in about 3-4 weeks.
It's about 2 inches long.
That's what she said.
Beautiful fish. When you guys go, if y'all could do a live and so we could all watch it, would be a bad video.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm going to try to do that. I will probably try to start a StreamYard and go live for a little while we're out there. Yep.
So Rich, I'm gonna go ahead and send you two, one for you on top of the camera and one of these for one of these guys who wins. But Des spoke too soon, so he don't know if he's gonna get one or not.
Well, we could go live and show y'all Rich's in his Speedos and stuff, man.
Oh,
sorry, brother. When the water gets warmer, I'm in a banana hammock.
That is funny. Guys, it is that time. I know you guys, it's probably a little later where you guys are at. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you guys on the show.
It's been real. I appreciate it.
We learned a lot from you guys, and that's what it's about. It's not about me and Rich. You know, we're old guys. We've been around. We've done some stuff. We just want to share those. God has blessed me recently. That's why I'm blessing Operation Vets with Nets with the camera, and just, you got to pay it forward. And sometimes it's not about materialistic things. It's just about going out there.
Yes, sir.
Oh, we didn't catch nothing. And the captain might be all pissed off because we didn't catch anything. Hey, you know what, sir? Don't worry about it. I'm out here. You took me out. You took time out of your schedule or your life away from your family to bring me out. That is awesome.
And that's what these guys kept saying, because I was like, man, I wish I could have got you, And
That's it.
because we had all the rain and the mud from the lake, it was just. I'm not making excuses. It was just a bad day of fishing. But
It happens.
but these guys were like, dude, don't worry about that. We had a blast.
Yep.
We did.
And the other thing about you guys that I realize is that just from interacting with you guys. Oh, did Tony drop off?
Yeah, we lost.
You guys are freaking awesome. Very hilarious and very genuine. And that's hard to come by nowadays in the fishing community. There's a lot of selfishness and trying to outdo each other and stuff like that. It's not like the old school days. But the authenticity of you guys was just freaking off the charts. And we thank you guys for that. And again, remember Operation Vets with Nets. Tell everybody, have them sign out. Don't worry about River Chronicles. I'm not for the cloud, trying to grow this. No, I'm trying to do good things to help other people grow. Operation Vets with Nets.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate everything, man. Rich and Charlie, I appreciate everything. So we'll be doing it again, and we going
Most
live.
definitely. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So y'all shoot if y'all can, y'all shoot me a DM on Facebook or what are the social medias. I'm on all of them, just so we can stay in touch and
don't be trying to DM me.
Trying to ruin
DMs, Charlie. Yeah. Charlie, you trying to get in my DMs and shit? No, we can't do that, man.
Trying to slide in your DMs. But guys,
I feel like I'm on TMZ right now. Yes, I'm sliding my DMs, goddamn. Man, you guys are awesome, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said it 5 times. Man, you guys must have had a blast. I wish I would have.
We did, man.
That's what it's about.
We really, I mean,
and I can tell. It's awesome.
I think that was probably the 3rd trip with my enclosure because it's a new enclosure, and it worked.
Yo, that was a lifesaver. Yep.
Yeah, it definitely did. When the wind was picking up and then the rain just started pouring down. We were all nice and dry inside. You know,
Rich, if someone can sleep comfortably inside that, then it was good.
No. If somebody could cook coffee in that thing,
there you go. If someone could cook a whole meal inside that thing, it was awesome.
That's right.
Y'all funny.
I'm telling you, I'm so jealous I didn't go with you guys. But guys, I know we keep it pretty strict to that hour. We're a little bit over because we know you guys got to do stuff. But please stay in touch. Like I said, guys, I keep my word. I'm gonna send 2 of these for Rich, one for him, obviously, and then Tony, one for you guys who catches the biggest fish.
Tony said his phone died.
What's that, Rich?
Tony said his phone died. That's why it dropped off. But
stay in touch, and thank you for the honor of your time, guys. Everyone watching, and thank you for your service.
Thank you guys. It truly was an honor to take you guys out. You guys really made my day. And it's I look forward to the next trip. I truly do. I'm gonna be looking at our schedule because I've got some travel time I've got to do for work. I got to go to San Diego and a bunch of other stuff. But we're and Charleston in May. So, but we're definitely gonna do this again sometime early April in the next couple of weeks. I'll try to get together with you guys, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna probably fish her again, but we're gonna go up to a whole nother part of the lake. So.
And Rodney, don't forget, we got them big old hogs down in Texas.
Oh, I know that. I used to love the big old hogs, man, but they became wild boars and shit. So no.
You guys are nuts. You guys are awesome. We'll see you guys. I love you guys. I had a blast.
Hey,
stay in touch,
guys. Hey, for all the viewers out there, man, I appreciate you guys coming on and checking out the show. Share this out with your folks, man, so we can really build up the audience of this show. And share with other vets. There may be vets out there that are, there you go. Thank you, Charlie. There may be vets out there that are hesitant because they're not sure. Well, send them to one of our podcasts. Go to YouTube, look up Operation Vets with Nets. You'll see all our podcasts. And they can go to our website, listen to some of the testimonies and stuff like that. And let's just let's focus on getting folks on the water and having a good time. Guys, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Charlie, thank you, brother, for taking the lead today.
No, you got it, my brother. That's what we're here for.
And you guys have a blessed one. Guys out there in Facebook land and everywhere else, thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you again for my team, because I wouldn't be able to do this without my team all over the country. You guys stay blessed. Love you all. And we'll see you next Thursday. I got to line up my guests for next Thursday.
Yes,
all right.
Have a good one.
Yeah, be safe
right,
out
guys.
there, guys. Love you guys.